Hey, you! Listening to this podcast right now! Do you want to hear a fucking podcast about anything and everything? Yeah. Like movies, music, television, and more?
Oh my god.
Well, you've come to the right place. Yes. Subscribe to Journey into Comics Network, and you get Podcastrophe, hosted by me, Dick. Why not throw a couple bucks to the Patreon? It's your choice. Yeah. This is a Podcastrophe.
That sounds so awesome.
The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
This is a tasty burger.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
Is butter a carb?
Will you stop eating?
We elves try to stick to the 4 main food groups. Candy, candy canes, candy corns, and syrup.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Showrunner was still pretty good too.
Yeah, like his first episode was
The plastic people creeps me out.
The Autons.
Didn't he do the Doctor Dances? I feel like he was a writer.
Yes, the Empty Child Doctor Dances 2-parter.
And then he did Blink. That was the first appearance of the Weeping Angels.
That was so good.
And then he did The Silence in the Library.
Yep.
That was so good.
He unfortunately did Girl in the Fireplace.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that episode.
I don't hate that one.
It's not that I hate it. It's just that it's
it.
kind of a bummer, you know?
I mean, it's not bad.
Because he's willing to just, like, let Mickey and Rose die on that fucking spaceship. What?
What's the...
No, but he's just going to let his compatriots just die in this fucking spaceship.
What's the, what was the head? The dude that was just the head?
The dude that was just the head.
The big
head.
The face of Bo.
Face of Bo.
Those the one with the
cat wasn't
John Barrowman was supposedly the face of Bo.
I was gonna say Captain Jack was supposedly the face of Bo.
Because they made a weird reference to it.
At the end of season 3.
That was called the face. Like he was like a model, and something they called
the face of Bo. They called me. Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm a huge Whovian, so this is like great nerding. Right now,
I can't wait. I've only seen the first episode of season 10.
Oh,
but I'm excited.
So good. V,
that weird water.
He hasn't gotten into.
I haven't gotten into Capaldi yet.
Capaldi's first season.
All the other
first
seasons.
Few episodes of Capaldi are interesting.
I'm excited.
I
to
did
watch
not
it.
like his first season.
Season 1 is bad. Season 2 is phenomenal.
Yeah,
for them. Like,
well, that's why we've been putting off watching it for so long.
When it comes out of like that weird
truth.
Where was it? Like at like the big ballerina with the guitar. I was like, what the fuck is happening? He's the oldest looking, youngest at heart doctor. Because he was in a punk band. He's basically the opposite of 11.
Exactly. 11 looked young, but was really an old soul. And, Matt Smith, of course.
What I did like about that...
Matt Smith is still my favorite doctor.
Really?
11 is still my favorite. I just love him so much.
I loved Christopher Eccleston, and then... After I found out that he wasn't like into Doctor Who, I was like, "Oh fuck that guy!" And then David Tennant became my favorite Doctor.
Well, we'll never see him
I love
again.
Rose. She's my favorite in almost
on that show.
Really?
My favorite companions were probably.
That's why he never came back for any of the specials because he was supposed to be the War Doctor.
Donna was great.
Sarah loves Donna.
Donna was great.
Donna Noble is her favorite.
Sarah
my favorite is Rose.
The Ponds
Donna
were my
Noble.
favorite though.
Amelia.
Weakest exit in show history.
Oh, I was so bummed with her exit.
Cop-out ass episode of Weeping Angels, with
the Angels Take Manhattan.
Oh, how they got thrown like 50 years ago.
Yeah, they beat it, but then they don't beat it, and they tell the doctor, "It's okay, just don't worry about us. Leave us here. We're fine. We had to write this book."
Raggedy Man, goodbye.
Well, I did like. Oh, you haven't seen... Have you seen 11 sign off yet?
Yeah, she watched The Time of the Doctor, so she has seen 11 Regenerate.
I haven't started Peter Capaldi.
That episode makes me cry every time.
Karen Gillian had shaved heads at the time of that episode filming, so they're both wearing wigs.
Oh, yes, correct.
Can I
also
just
talking
talk
to the
about how
microphone.
much I love River Song.
Keep not
Oh
talking.
my god, I love her.
It's so hard. I like looking people in the face. It's fine.
She's the
so
only,
I need a lapel mic or a headset mic.
Or
that's
just,
been
you know
with
what
the
you
Doctor
do?
through like
Take
3
it with you.
incarnations of
Take it
him.
with me.
Well, but like
she was with
this,
David
watch.
Tennant, she was with Matt Smith, and she was with
Check
Peter
this shit out, bro.
Capaldi.
Yeah.
You can totally freeform it,
Yeah.
And then you can do exactly.
I know a lot about River
My
Song.
brain.
I know that
I
she's
think,
like
one of my
married to
favorite
the doctor.
episodes Is the
and-
the
You know
episode
what? It's been a while.
With the
I
10th
need to.
Doctor with
We
K9
just need to
and,
finish it. We just
Sarah
need to catch up,
Connor.
Sarah. Oh yeah,
For what?
Gotham.
Is she
I need to
in
catch
the-
up on
is
Doctor
she
Who.
in the
Well,
10th season
also season 2 of Jessica Jones is going to be out here soon. Have you seen season 1?
Yeah, I saw Jessica Jones. That was great.
Intense.
And David Tennant will be back for that.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Except I think it's going to be like in her head. I think it's not going to actually be there. I think it's going to be like a PTSD, like her in the
Groovy. Sounds good. Everybody sounds good. We're sounding really
The last time that River sees the doctor
What?
when she's with
We've
Matt
actually
Smith,
been
that
talking
was
for
in
5 minutes now.
Not the day of the doctor,
totally.
not the time of the doctor. What was it?
This
What
is awesome.
was that episode with her?
What episode? Tell me.
I love that.
The last episode with River Song and Matt Smith. It wasn't the day of the doctor. It wasn't the time of the doctor.
The last River and Matt Smith would have been
That episode where
Was it the library one? Wasn't that the last time she was there?
Clara. I feel like it has Clara in it too. It has to because River Song is in it.
Wait,
and
is it
Matt.
when they all get sucked into the thing like Madame Vashta and everybody? They're like in the dream.
Yes.
Oh, what the fuck! That was the finale of season 7. That's
Yeah.
the finale of season 7. Is
It's not the Christmas.
the Battle of Trenzalore? It's Trenzalore.
The one where it's Christmas
not
every
called
day?
the Battle of Trenzalore, though. It's called something else.
Maybe that's a question for Google.
What's
what is that called?
I would think you would know that, Nathaniel.
No, it's my.
I'm disappointed in my old self. I used to know.
I do know it, and I for some reason can't think. Are you looking it up, Lauren?
Yeah.
Have you seen? Do you know the episode with Pink when he becomes the Cyberman?
I'm just gonna Google Doctor Who season 7.
I've been watching that show for 12 years straight.
Because that's such a sad episode when he becomes the fully Cyberman, but he's not.
about
He's
the new
turns
Doctor
switch.
being a
Which
woman?
is weird. Oh,
I remember the first
Remember
time
that
I ever
one
watched
that he
Doctor
helps them?
Who.
have you ever almost spoiled the fuck out of something for somebody? Because that was just about me. I almost just said some shit that would
About Cybermen.
That would have
The name of the doctor.
This whole
the
table.
name of the doctor. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
There's
right.
the name of the doctor, the time of the doctor, and the day of the doctor.
And
The day of the Doctor
actually-
wasn't the day of the Doctor the 50th.
Yes.
Yes.
And then
That one-
technically on the Day of the Doctor DVD, there's the Night of the Doctor, which has the first time Paul McGann was brought back
To
to
change into
regenerate
War-
into War
'Cause
Doctor.
he takes that special serum on his regeneration to become. How much he got? What was he? He was one movie, right?
Probably not.
One movie, 96.
And that was the American one.
Yeah. Eric something.
But he's done a lot of audio
Doctor
dramas,
Who
right?
is probably
As
never
a
going to
tons.
end. They're going to keep going.
I never got into those.
Hopefully.
For as long as they have money and a budget and writers.
We're talking about Doctor Who.
And as long as people are interested.
Well, they have another regeneration cycle. They can always do it again.
Well, and they can
13
always take
more.
time off because they did that before. They took a long break
like
off.
30
and then
years.
Allow it to refresh. It doesn't have to be that long, but they can go, we're going to take a 2-year hiatus, and everybody's going to be like, oh, we're not going to have Doctor Who, and everybody's going to be chomping at the bit,
Hey,
so a new Doctor
if
Who
you can
shows
wait
up.
3 hours, or like 3 hours between an Avengers film, you can wait a couple years between a.
Have you seen the newest episode, the one that came out on Christmas Day, the one that had
I'm
Jodie
caught up.
Whittaker?
Caught up.
I'm still in season 10.
I have not seen that one.
I did see
yet.
the clip. I watched all the books fall out the window or out the door. I was like, but those are his books.
You guys have
I
no
need to
idea.
plug my ears. Spoilers.
I'm
not
gonna
caught
say
up.
I'm just gonna say one thing about the Capaldi final episode.
Wasn't it bad?
It wasn't that good.
Really?
It really wasn't. It was a very convoluted
Well,
story.
I heard they were trying to force emotion, but the emotion didn't work because you knew too much about what was going on.
Exactly. That is the best way to not spoil exactly the thing I would have just spoiled totally by saying the thing I shouldn't have said. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of Foodies Watching Movies. I'm your host, Nate. Today, joining me, as always, is the creator of Foodies Watching Movies, Miss Veronica. How are you doing?
What's up?
Not much. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm pretty tired. We had a show last night. So
Show night.
We didn't go to bed till like 4:30 in the morning, and we got up early to brunch it up with our fellow foodies, AP and Lauren.
Not to. Oh, that was a great. You just like totally introed them, and then I fucking rolled over.
Stepped
Go
right
ahead.
on
It's early. It's okay.
I'll let you take that. Well, what's up, AP and Lauren?
Not much.
Okay. Sorry, that was
I
totally
made it
forced.
here and I'm alive, so.
I'm so glad to see you. Welcome back to Foodies. It's been a couple episodes.
Thank you. Yes, it has been.
Get Out, I think, was the last time we had
the
you
post-Thanksgiving episode was the last episode I was
which was
on.
awesome. Oh, my God.
Sarah is joining us for the. Was this the first time on Foodies Watching Movies?
Maybe.
Mayhaps.
Well, welcome, Sarah. She just presented us with a beautiful plate of chocolate chip cookies.
Can I dip into my White Russian? Is that okay?
Yeah. We're having White Russians today in a celebration of the movie we watched, The Big Lebowski.
Man, these are pretty good.
It's one of our favorites and one of Sarah's favorites, so she's decided to contribute to this conversation, as well as some cookies. And I need to eat one of these right now.
They're delicious.
They're absolutely phenomenal. Actually, I lied. They're terrible. Nobody should eat them but me. Because they're amazing.
That's not how this is going to work.
You're correct. It's
Oh,
not
I
how it's
dipped
going to
it.
work. Nice life hack. You ate the cookie in order to dip the cookie. Sometimes you got to take one for the team. I think this is the realest fat kid I've been on the podcast. Maybe ever, folks.
Oh, my God.
But listen.
They're so perfect. Thanks for making them, man.
You're welcome.
What you thinking, dude?
Today is everything like about the dude, right?
The duder.
Duderino.
The dudeness.
If the whole brevity isn't your whole thing, but
Jeff Lebowski.
My God, I'm so glad we decided to watch The Big Lebowski. I love that movie.
It's one of my all-time favorites.
And one of my favorite drinks really is having like a White Russian, or as he calls them, a Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that we're having White Russians and talking about The Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk right now because I'm eating this cookie.
Probably one of the most popular Coen Brothers movies.
Arguably.
Maybe at least top 5.
Yeah, we needed to talk about that because some of my all-time favorite movies are Coen Brother movies.
Well, we'll get into that because we want to spend some time on Lebowski first, obviously.
Did you see on episode 9 that also, was it Quentin Tarantino is also up there for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I love
Wes
Quentin
Anderson
Tarantino.
is amazing too.
Wes Anderson is definitely in my
Wes
top
Anderson
5.
is hit or miss for me.
Like, we need to have a whole episode dedicated to Wes
debate
Anderson.
about
The
Wes
Life,
Anderson films on an episode?
Aquatic with
Yes.
Steve Zissou is a masterpiece.
Oh my
I don't
God,
care
and
what
the
anyone
soundtrack,
says.
I love it.
And I think the only Wes Anderson film I liked was what's the one?
The only
the Royal
Wes-
Tenenbaums.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's a great movie,
Okay,
too.
That's
think-
one of my favorite movies. That was one of my night movies for a while.
I think there's only 3 or maybe 4 Wes Andersons I get down on.
Oh my God,
The
I love
early
them
stuff was
all.
What's the
great.
one you
Moonlight-
introduced me to?
Moonlight Kingdom?
Yes.
Moonrise
Never saw Moonrise
That one
Kingdom.
was fucking phenomenal. It was like a little tiny bijou, like a little art piece gem that I loved. It was so sweet
What's
and
the other one? The
fucking
Grand
precious.
Budapest, the Darjeeling Limited.
Yeah, I didn't like the Darjeeling Limited.
No.
He did the Life Aquatic, right? You
Yeah,
said
the
that?
Life
I tried
Aquatic
watching the movie.
is
It was.
amazing.
I need to watch it again because I think I wasn't the right
Fantastic
mindset
Mr.
for that
Fox.
movie.
Yeah.
That one was incredible. I loved
that the
that. And I
animated
loved
movie?
George Clooney in it. Yeah, it was like,
I fell asleep during that movie, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
oh, this is going to be a heated podcast
Yeah,
when
we'll
we talk about Wes Anderson.
We should do like our
Everybody's
favorite.
going to have their homework
Can
assignments.
we should have
and
our
we're-
favorite director's film catalog. It's
Okay.
like each come with our own and try and defend it to the others would be kind of fun.
I'm down.
Do like a two episode, like a part 1, part 2
That sounds good.
Of what?
of a like a director. You pick a director's catalog as like your favorite and defend it to everyone else and do a 2-part.
Ooh, I love that actually. That's actually a really
Like
great
you come
idea.
with Wes Anderson, you can
I
come
will
with
not.
Tarantino.
I will not do Michael Bay.
No.
No
He's
one
not
should do
allowed to
Michael
be talked
Bay.
about on our
He's
fucking
not-
podcast.
Don't it be
Listen,
hard to
this
like
is a
bring-
Michael Bay free
It's like, you can't
zone.
bring like Steven Spielberg in. It's like, well, I think all 30 of Steven Spielberg's films are amazing. You can't just bring that character. You have to more of an eclectic and indie director.
I like directors that have a style. Like Wes Anderson has a style.
The
Coen
Coen brothers
have a style. Stanley Kubrick has a style.
Tarantino has a style.
has a style.
Spielberg very clearly has a style.
Scorsese has a style.
Abrams has a style.
Everybody has their own
Kevin
fucking
Smith?
style.
Of course, you could argue that J.J. Abrams does not necessarily have as much style as he has lens flare, but he's gotten better about it. He was really bad there for a couple movies.
Star
though.
Trek is crazy with the lens.
Oh my
flare.
God, that in Super 8. Did you ever
Super
see
8 was a
Super
great
8?
movie, though.
But
I
oh
didn't
my
see that.
God, they're You've never seen Super 8?
You gotta watch it. Do you have it on Blu-ray?
Legitimately, in my whole fucking life, cannot believe you've not seen this movie right now.
It's a great movie.
It is amazing. It has got a beautiful story. It is so well directed. The cinematography is gorgeous. It is believable through and through until the twist.
The young cast is the best thing since Stranger Things.
Absolutely. But before, even. They were before Stranger
Best
Things.
things before until Stranger Things.
I got you. Yeah, totally.
For that age group?
I'm down. I'd watch it.
I watch it again.
We have it on Blu-ray, so we'll watch it.
That'll be my homework assignment.
Cool, definitely.
Before next time.
So, dude, what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about Lebowski. I wanted to know, you guys, do you guys remember the first time you've seen Big Lebowski?
This was my first time ever seeing it.
Okay, talk about it. So
Oh my God.
let's get your first reaction of this movie that is a cult classic.
It's crazy to me that you've never seen this movie.
Yeah. First time seeing The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
I'm so pleased. Continue.
I love that he was a bowler, and I love that they peed on his rug, and that was pretty much the impetus for the
That
whole
was the
movie.
catalyst.
Like, if he would have been okay with that,
It was fucking Walter's fault. But Walter is like the instigator of this movie and just totally made this whole thing happen the way that it's not supposed to happen.
problem
If he would have
is-
just let the fucking rug go.
Chinaman peed on my rug. No, it's Asian American. Chinaman is not the right nomenclature.
I love that. Listen, Walter's not wrong, though. Most of the
Am
time
I
in this
wrong?
movie,
Was I
Walter is
wrong?
actually not wrong.
Was I wrong?
He rightly predicts the majority of what actually happens and tells the dude that is how it's going to be, and that's just how it is, you know. But yes,
We could have a whole podcast dedicated to just Walter
The
and
rug-
his
And
relationship with Donnie.
nihilist.
The rug really
And the
tied the room
nihilist.
together, you know.
Yeah.
Really tie the room together.
I love that Lucifer's in that movie. For anyone who watches
What was that?
Supernatural. Lucifer. I like it. If you watch Supernatural, Lucifer's one of the guy from the beginning who puts him in the toilet.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm an old Supernatural fan.
We're going to cut off your Johnson, Lebowski.
What did they throw in the bathtub with him? Isn't it a
Ferret.
A marmot?
I did
Marmot.
not like
Ferret?
the ferret part. That bummed me out. And I've seen this movie many times. I remember watching it years ago, like when it came out in like 1998 or something. And I've loved this movie for a long time. But I love like all of the Coen brother movies. And it's just got that whole. It's like you're watching that movie. You're watching a Coen brothers movie when you're watching them.
Was The Big Lebowski your favorite Coen Brothers movie?
The Big Lebowski is like in my. Oh God.
It's hard because there's a lot of good Coen Brothers movies.
I
The
really
answer is yes for me.
I really love Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That's my favorite Coen Brothers movie. I
Beautiful
love the
soundtrack.
soundtrack. You know, as a
Not
singer, I
movie.
love
Isn't,
that shit.
George Clooney in that movie?
George Clooney is phenomenal in
And
that
the
movie.
guy that plays the Jesus. He's in Oh Brother
John
Where Art
Turturro
Thou.
is, I think, in a lot of Coen Brothers
Thank
movies.
you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I
Or
like
Turturro,
about the Coen
whatever.
Brothers movies is that they utilize a lot of the same actors in their different movies.
I love Raising Arizona. It's a great
Oh my
movie.
God! And Raising Arizona is
That's one thing about very
so good.
prolific directors is that they use a lot of the same actors because they know what they're going to get out of them. So it's
Right.
dependable.
And they have a
performances.
chemistry with them, so they know how to get what they want from these actors. And it's just like watching high art. You know, The Big Lebowski is like high art, man.
I think did everyone rewatch it before
I
today?
like the double entendre.
Huh?
Did everyone rewatch the movie before today?
We
Besides-
started it last night, and then we finished watching it
Well,
today.
I was surprised that Ares God of War was in this movie.
What up?
Ares, David Thewlis, Ares from Wonder Woman was in the movie.
I didn't even see.
Do you remember? He's the giggly guy in Julianne Moore's office with like the shaved head.
Oh.
Lupus
Yeah,
from
Lupin.
Lupin from Harry
Lupus
Potter.
is a disease.
Yeah, my bad. Oops. Oh damn! Now I feel
Everyone
like
had on
shit.
house. Everyone had lupus.
Boom.
It's fine.
The rug really tied the room together. I just want to say it again. Like it's the whole purpose of the
Hence
movie.
why we had pigs in a blanket today.
That was good.
Yeah, we have pigs in a. Nate made his
segue.
famous
Hell
pigs in
yeah.
a blanket. Used Gouda cheese today.
I wanted to make them a little more fancy and really tie the whole episode together. So
Tie the lunch together.
Yeah, so I used honey croissants instead of regular croissants. Gouda cheese got that nice flavor. Put a little extra Gouda on the top there and a little like crisscrossy thing. basic ass hot dogs because they're fucking hot dogs.
You always do.
Can't do much.
You
with
always
hot
could
dogs.
scale them down and do like little smokies in those, and do very small ones.
You could.
That's how I make them. I always cut them in half and then just wrap them like that.
I eat them, by the fistful. So I just have them in the big. They're just nom. They're really delicious. But anyways, I just thought that you actually had suggested that brilliantly, like pigs in a blanket, carpet, rug, blanket.
Toe. Yeah.
It all works.
Yeah, we see what you did there.
Yeah, it works out. So makes sense for the episode, I guess.
I love thematically charging the food to the movie.
Totally. And then you brought the White Russian stuff we've been jamming on. They're really
mine was a little strong.
Really tasty.
I had to put a little bit in my coffee.
This is not brews with dudes.
This is not drug catastrophe.
But there's no brews. It's all liquor.
Foodies
Foodies actually only done liquor.
I'm okay with that.
I've done beer at all on Foodies.
Not true.
I'm totally fine with that.
We had a what was that?
Was I not here for that?
You know what? We actually never officially talked about this on the podcast. We drank it before the podcast and then forgot to discuss this.
Was that the episode I wasn't on?
It was episode the AP was not on, but we drank the...
was this the cheese episode?
Yes.
That was a whole lot of cheese.
Lot of cheese episode, but we had the Three Floyds Dark Matter Crack the Sky. It's a beer they did with Mastodon. It was an Imperial Russian coffee stout.
It's a very pretty picture.
Oh, well, that's the Mastodon band's fucking art. But
very cool.
It was, I mean, personally, I don't know about you guys, but I really love it. I think coffee is a great way to drink beer. Like, mix them together. It tastes great.
Like a coffee stout?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it was.
I have a wig splitter at home. A wig splitter and...
Still?
Yeah.
You got a bunch of those from
Whole Foods, yeah. I gave one to my ex-roommate when she was taking a train to California, and then I've
Such a long train ride.
Yeah, I've slowly drank all of them except for one.
Delicious.
I had to have another cookie.
Yeah, I'm working on my second one. They're pretty good.
I think a good coffee or a milk stout are always good.
I had a Moloko, but I didn't really like it that much. I definitely prefer Molokos when I'm like out. They're not as good when I've had them at home.
I'm not a beer enthusiast, so I have no idea what that means, and I would love for you to educate me.
Moloko is a Three Floyds milk stout.
Isn't Lauren hosting Brews with Dudes?
Yeah, that's
in like a month.
That's a spoiler.
Oh, is it?
You're creating a spoiler now, so that's
I'm
a
sorry.
spoiler paradox. We might bleep that one out.
Sorry,
because that all hasn't been announced. Because it's probably not going to be announced. If you catch my drift.
Well, maybe not. Maybe this one can just be announced as a teaser.
No.
Well, maybe it could be a teaser, but maybe there's a future episode where there's going to be brews and ladies hosting, and it'll be great.
Brews with ladies.
it'll be great, and we can host that here or whatever, and it'll be a fun time. I would say.
Yeah.
I would imagine if that actually were to happen in an alternate universe, it would be great. That's the best way to unspoiler
I guess
that.
briskly changing the subject. Who's your favorite
Moving on.
character from The Big Lebowski?
My favorite character from The Big Lebowski? That's a fucking hard question. A lot of thought into this. I like Walter, but he's too aggressive. I really obviously love the dude. I see a lot
Shut
of
the fuck up,
myself.
Donnie.
Yeah, what's up with that? You're out of your element, Donnie. There's so many moments in that movie where he's so aggressive, but then there's a lot of the dude I see in myself. Like just a very let life just do its thing and whatnot.
I could see if you're in front of a very to-do, a well-to-do person. I could see you being exactly the dude in that conversation.
I have a question about The Big Lebowski. So, even though it's a funny movie, are there any deeper themes that you have in The Big Lebowski? Because you were talking about that just now, I connect with the dude or whatever. Is there anything more going on other than it being just a funny stoner movie?
I think there's a lot of things going on. I believe that there is, the idea and the concept that this guy, he's just a fucking guy. And he got his...
Wrong place, wrong time, guy.
Wrong name.
Wrong rug.
And he got his rug pissed on, and that's
Wrong
not cool.
It's does this look like I'm married or have a... The toilet seat is up.
Yeah, he's like, please, what are you thinking? So, to me, it's like... He's this simple dude who has to face all he wants is his rug back, or a replacement.
Yeah, he's not greedy, man.
I love that
he's going.
Didn't he steal a rug from Lebowski?
He just
and then he got it stolen.
The dude says, or the big guy says, I could have whatever.
Any rug in the house.
Yeah, and they just carry it. The freaking Philip Seymour Hoffman just carries it out for him. Oh,
and that brings us to think what is probably Sarah's favorite character in this movie, Julianne Moore.
Julianne
I don't know if she's my favorite. It's like
Maud Lebowski.
I do not like Julianne. I do not like Julianne Moore in this movie.
Is it because you had to see her
very
naked?
severe looking?
It didn't help. It didn't help.
Really?
Yeah. But I just didn't like the personality of that character.
I didn't like her accent.
Yes, it was
Mr.
very
Lebowski.
Especially because
she's
so she's the daughter of the guy of Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how'd she get the accent? Where did she go? I think she should have it.
She's
the
an
guy
art freak. She's one of those
so she put on
socialite
airs?
weirdos.
Is she just Madonna? Is that who she is?
The first scene you see her in this movie, she comes in flying on a zip line, naked, flailing her arms with paintbrushes.
I saw too many movies with naked women last night, Nate. I'm still...
How many movies did you see with naked ladies?
2.
What was the other one?
It was freaking Killer Joe.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting you watched that. We'll talk about that in a bit.
That's just too many naked women in movies.
You
on a
guys
big screen. It's not okay.
Interesting.
You guys did not answer the question, though. Favorite character?
Mine is Walter.
Walter. He's sassy.
Yeah. I really like him.
He's the embodiment of PTSD.
Yeah.
That character is just in the
I feel like
he rides the line so great.
I love that when he pulls the gun out over over the line. I said you were put a zero.
Mark it 0.
It was so messed up.
I feel like tying Vietnam back to Donnie's death would be something that I would do.
It's like he died like so many of
somehow
us.
I tie back some fucked up experience from my past to a friend's eulogy.
Yeah, that's real. That's super real. That's why you just have to laugh at it.
I feel like Steve Buscemi is always picked on in every movie he ever does. It seems like.
Oh, but he was so good on Boardwalk Empire. He was scary grown up.
Didn't he play Nucky?
Yeah.
I never watched Boardwalk
Empire.
Empire.
I thought it was so fucking good,
Never
but
saw
then
it. I have HBO. I should just watch it.
Started getting bad and bad and bad, and then the last season I couldn't even finish it.
Really?
So I don't know how it ended, and I'm going to keep it that way for a while.
I think I really like Walter, but I really also like Brandt, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. Just that character in general.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I think the best thing is just when he's outside with Bunny. And it's here's my $100 to watch. He's
right.
This doesn't happen every day.
Tara Reid.
God, this is that laugh alone. You're just that's the best laugh.
Yeah, Tara Reid was in that movie as Bunny, the horrible wife.
I'll suck your dick for $1,000.
I don't think she was anyone's favorite or most relatable character.
No.
I love that there was the really weird porn video during Bunny Latoja or something, or whatever her name was.
What a weird movie. I love how stylized this movie was with its art direction, and just everything about this movie is just pretty perfect.
The drug trip with the dude and Jackie Treehorn.
It's so weird.
Where he's, the bowler and the gutter balls, right? I think is the movie that he's seeing himself doing with Julianne Moore, and she's in the
weird
Valkyrie Viking type gear, but it's
also
made out of bowling balls and such.
I think the trippiest part for me was when he's in the bowling ball and it's rolling down, so you just have that.
Oh, everybody
it
gets
makes your
sick at
stomach
that
drop.
point.
You're oh.
The rolling makes everyone nauseous.
Well, usually, you see him and you see nothing, and then you see the pins, and then back to him. I'm it's great cinematography though. They really.
Yeah, they don't make movies like that anymore.
As we were talking about, you were spoiled in your in childhood, and now the movies are different.
We got spoiled in the late 90s.
Everyone's afraid to take risks like that and just make them.
I think it's on the fucking franchise train.
I think the studios are afraid to let directors take risks because we saw all the fallout from Last Jedi for someone who was able to push and do kind of his own thing and saw the reaction. So studios Disney might be more gun shy for the Last Jedi.
Funny you bring up the Last Jedi.
Or was it?
Last time we all talked, you were not with us, but you have finally seen Star Wars, and I want to know, what did you think?
I thought it was amazing.
Absolutely. What was your favorite part of the movie?
Honestly, probably the end when Mark Hamill kissed Carrie Fisher on the forehead.
Oh,
That part.
Well, that
crusher.
That whole, yeah, because that was like, and then like 5 minutes later, it's him sitting on the rock, staring at the reflection of the one sun through the clouds to see two suns. Then that music, and then you're just like.
I will say though, the final Mark Hamill scene was a little too Jesus-y looking for me. Like they kind of made it like.
I mean, it could have been.
Yeah, when his robe just kind of like.
I wasn't expecting
him
him
to
to
die. Into nothingness.
I really wasn't.
Yeah.
When they went one with the Force. But like it could have been like the Matrix. It could have been very, very much a Jesus.
What the fuck just happened? Did I just miss something really important? God damn it!
The cool thing is though with this is that Mark Hamill's role is not done. He's going to be a Force ghost in the next movie. Come on, how amazing is that?
Can they
Force ghost?
I love seeing OG Puppet Yoda again.
Like,
that was.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Kylo Ren and
Rey.
Oh, AP brought up the trending Kylo Ren challenge. Did you want to mention that?
I don't really know
Seen
much
that on
about
the
it.
interwebs.
Is it everyone just wears like high waisted pants up to like their boobs?
Yeah, it's men are doing
I was gonna
selfies.
say- oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Talking to the mic. Bingo.
Men are like.
I forgot what I was saying
Wearing
entirely.
very high waisted pants.
Yeah, talking about Kylo Ren.
High-waisted pants. Oh yeah, I was gonna say this is a job for Blaine and Company.
Oh my gosh!
I think
yes.
that's what I thought immediately when I saw it. Is they need to
A podcastrophe Kylo Ren challenge. Are you Sarah on Foodies Watching Movies challenging Blaine to the Kylo Ren challenge?
I don't know what that means, so I'm not
He's gonna
sure
listen on Wednesday
about
and be
that.
like,
He's gonna listen.
I'm not sure what this entails. What's the fine
You're gonna
print?
get spammed with pictures of him with just like
It's just
pants up
he's
to
gonna
here.
have to wear really high waisted pants, and we're gonna put them on the internet.
I don't even know where you can buy pants that high.
Extended.
Well, I'm not sure what it means to challenge somebody to this, but
Throw down.
I've seen
throw the
it.
gauntlet.
I've seen it. I just haven't like detailed.
You don't have to do it.
Swing the gauntlet. Swing the infinity gauntlet.
Like, there's no rebound on this. This is
No,
not
I
going
don't
to
think
be
there's
like
gonna
I'm
be
going to
any
have
rebound.
like ice buckets in the
Well,
you know.
He might
snow or
challenge you
some
back
shit.
though, knowing Blaine.
I'm not taking a high-waisted pants picture.
No,
Not gonna
you don't have
happen.
to. I'm gonna step in as the podfather and veto the need for you to have to do that. So don't you worry.
You just wear the high waist pants and put a shirt over it, so it's like you're just like dressed normally.
Here's the honorable thing to do. If Blaine challenges you back, I'll take the challenge in your
challenge
stead.
extended.
Right?
Oh,
Right? That's the way
he's
to
like
do
he's
it.
like my champion knight or something.
And I'll even do it
he's a
with
champion.
my Big Lebowski
champion?
jammies that I've got on right now.
Your red plaid.
Can I
jammies.
summon you with a Pokeball?
Sure, you can totally do that. Or you
Summon-
can be like,
Can you what? Summon him with a Pokeball?
Yeah, whatever. I don't play Pokemon.
Can you summon him with the ocarina?
Or that thing, yeah. Oh, that's Power Rangers.
fuck yeah, it's Power Rangers.
Right now.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna rein it in. Star Wars, since you did.
Nice save, killer.
Yeah.
Pro.
Since we chose our favorite characters for the Big Lebowski, what is your favorite character in the new Star Wars universe?
Oh, Sarah's
In the-
dropping
in the-
great
Yeah.
ass questions.
In the new, like a new character?
Like in the new reboot with like Rey and
Oh, so you
everybody,
wouldn't
how
count-
they're like
so you
giving
wouldn't
you
count
new
Rogue One in those,
characters.
so it'd be just the new trilogy.
I did
Well,
not like Rogue One.
I loved it. Oh
it
my
was
God, Jen
yeah.
Erso
Rogue
for
One's hard to
life.
count in this. I
Right,
meant
so
like
it's
the
just-
episode
it's
7,
and 8.
Yeah, in the new universe that they're building.
I was really expecting more from Captain Phasma. She's kind of like the Darth Maul of
You ain't
the
seen
new
nothing yet.
Star Wars movies. You know what I'm saying? Because she
She
was
might not be
totally
gone.
underutilized and then killed off.
Was
She
that
might
Laura
not be gone.
Was that Laura Dern?
No,
Gwendolyn Christie.
She was
from
the
Game of
Chrome
Thrones.
Stormtrooper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But she's
Brienne of Tarth.
She has
I would
died
ha-
now twice in the
My girl.
movies.
I would have to say that Laura Dern was my new favorite character.
Oh,
Who?
General Holdo.
Yeah.
Laura
Amelin?
Dern.
Oh, Laura
Yeah.
Dern.
Amelin
Oh, she
Holden.
totally bugged. And I love me some Laura Dern.
She was annoying.
Love
but
Jurassic Park.
Apparently,
She
She's
was
in
known.
the,
annoying, but at the end, she kind of saved the day, kind
Well,
of.
yeah,
God,
her
apparently the
ending,
most
her like
badass
tragic
Well, you
martyrdom
know-
was dope.
in the
Of course it was.
new
It was
canon
great.
book, she was a teenage friend of Leia. So
Yeah,
they
but
have a
couldn't she
long.
have just been like up front with the dude, being like, "Hey, man, I got this. I know what I'm
Well,
supposed to do."
they needed you to think that she didn't.
Why?
It was
stupid. I have a lot of issues with this movie.
You don't want to trick.
I'm just realizing as I'm thinking about it.
You didn't like that the audience was tricked in this movie.
I think you need a second watching of it to really appreciate it.
I loved it. Well, because I didn't like it after the first watching as much.
The second watching changes it for you. It literally
I've only
does.
seen it the
You
one time.
really anticipate the scenes that are happening. You get a little bit more drawn into the minor details that are
Is it
building
still in
more
theaters?
and more and more. It
Yeah.
is.
I want to go see it again.
Sure, let's do it.
Well, like in May.
I'll be
I
down.
will
not
By the
say
time
no.
Infinity War drops, it'll probably
let's go
be
to a
on
matinee.
Blu-ray.
We got to
by
do
then,
that
I'd
freaking
imagine.
movie
Probably right
pass
before
thing
summer.
we keep.
Totally. We keep hyping Movie Pass.
I got it.
Well,
How
talk
much
to
is
us.
it?
Apparently,
How
a
does
couple
that
of people
work?
got it now that we were like.
Well, I don't
hyping it.
have it. I've signed up for it. I don't have it tangibly. They said it's going to come like in 2 weeks. The card.
Yeah.
we
So
need to
it's
do that.
essentially
We're gonna
you
do that, don't
you pay
worry.
$10 a month like Netflix. They'll send you a card, and then when you can't really buy your tickets in advance. It really kind of depends on the theater. But basically, within 100 yards of the theater, you select the movie through the app that you want to go see, and it puts that much money on this debit card they give you. So then you buy your movie ticket, you walk in, and then it does the transaction. So it ends up paying for itself because most movie tickets are like $12-$14 anyway.
So the first movie is paid for itself, and then you're just getting
Right, and
free
you can
movies.
see,
you can still use your
you can
stubs,
see-
like,
and,
if you
yeah,
do
for
AMC.
Yeah, you can see
I still don't
one
even have a
movie
stubs.
every day.
It's worth
but I don't
it.
think
We
you can
get
see
free
the same
shit all the
movie
time
twice.
because
You
we've been
cannot
going to the
see the
movies a
same
lot
movie
more.
twice.
So you can see any movie that's playing in the theater, but you can only see it once through the app.
Yeah, and they don't have family plan yet. They're still working on it. It's actually really, really early on in the.
Well, if
in
they
the
had a
genesis of
couples one
this.
would be fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Like I'd pay
Date night
$25 a
packages.
month for 2 people. That'd be great. I'd pay more than
Well,
an
25 would be more than an individual. You
Right,
would
but
make
I would
it
pay
cheaper.
it just for the convenience of be able to do it 2 tickets at a time.
You're just saying that's what you'd be willing to pay.
Right.
I gotcha. So you're gonna have to keep updating us once the movie pass comes in
Right,
because
'cause, I mean-
you're gonna have it before we do.
Right, because my work is like right next to a movie theater, so I could like go after work and just be like, I'm going to see this movie. I'm thinking because I also talked about wanting to keep up with all the movies I see in 2018, just to say like
You're gonna catalog them.
I saw 150 movies this year, or I saw 275,
And that includes rewatches of anything.
like so if I watch random if I watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on Netflix, I'll count that.
I'm a little too anal retentive to put that kind of list together. I would want to constantly re-alphabetize, and then that would just stress me
Well,
out.
I'm just doing it in chronological order, like order of watch. So the first movie I
that's
watched in
kinda
2018
dope.
was this. Second was this. So then by the time like you're in, and then you could always order at the very end of the year, but like of all these movies I watched this year, this is the order that I would rank them, which would be a pain to do, but would be kind of awesome.
Absolutely.
The 300th movie I liked was this. Like,
man, that would be. Now
but
you got me.
we can have a new top 10 though. Would be kind of cool.
So does that mean today we should start cataloging the movies
My first movie of what was my first movie of 20? Oh, it was Parkland, the John F. Kennedy movie from like 2012.
Good.
Yeah, actually pretty decent. I watched it on the plane.
Cool. I was going to say something and my brain just totally spaced out.
And Iron Man
Everyone's-
2 was number 2, which is kind of funny.
Oh, that's interesting. Iron Man 2's all right. Recent rewatch leads me to not hate that movie as much.
I love Sam Rockwell in that movie. I'm going to talk about it on my thing, but
you know, that's what I wanted to get into. I'm going to let you take the floor for a minute here, but I recommended a film to you.
yes. So
Please talk
You
about
gave
it.
me this movie, I feel like 2 months ago. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
It was a movie that like I think I saw it like on the shelf of like a family video or something, but it was called Killer Joe, which is a Matthew McConaughey film that takes place in like deep Texas, I think, and it has like
Well,
Emil
that makes
Hirsch
sense.
and Juno Temple and Gina Gershon, and I always forget the main guy, the dad. It's like a pretty well-known actor. I just can't think of his name.
Yeah.
He was Sandman in the Spider-Man.
Oh, Thomas Hayden Church.
Yes, who played the dad. And it's a really good cast, and it's adapted from a stage play that this Chicago screenwriter did, or writer. But it was a very interesting movie, and I had no idea. I didn't read the back of the movie before I watched it. I just put it in. And I mean, all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, we're at a trailer park. Okay, he's trying to get in the door. There's a girl in the bed. Oh, Gina Gershon just opened the door, just pantsless, and just staring right at her bush. I was like, this is uncomfortable. Like, it literally, he says it in the movie. It's like, can you not have that? I'm kind of blinded by your bush staring me in the face. I'm like, what movie did Nate recommend for me? And then, like, I'm watching it. It's this really interesting story. Can I be a little spoiler?
Sure.
All right, spoiler alert.
What movie is this?
Killer Joe.
Killer Joe. Nate has it if
I've
you want to borrow it. It's
never heard of this movie.
I'll lend it to you today as soon as we're done.
I would really like my copy of Reality Bites.
It's sitting right there. And Get Out. Would you like?
Get Out, and then what else do you have? Let the Right One In.
Yes.
The Motorcycle Diaries.
They're all sitting there in my watch and to watch pile.
But it's but it's a really interesting story because Emile Hirsch's character is in bad for like drugs with some like looks like almost like a gang lord or like a mafia type. So like he's got goons that are gonna beat him up. He doesn't get like $10,000 to the guy. So he hears about that his mom, who's kind of a piece of shit in this movie that no one really cares about, she has a life insurance policy of like $50,000. So like they can hire essentially a hitman who's played by this cop, who's Matthew McConaughey is playing, and the whole story is like they hire him to do the job, so then they can get the money to pay him and then use the other $25,000 or whatever to set themselves up because neither of them have a lot of money. Like Thomas Hayden Church's character says, like, I've never had $1,000 in my life. So it's a really interesting story. And then like Matthew McConaughey ends up falling for like their 21-year-old Emile Hirsch's character's 21-year-old sister, and it gets kind of uncomfortable because there's weird physical, sexual, non-sexual things that happen in this movie that are a little disturbing. I think Nate, like I said, come in like the chicken leg.
Okay, yeah. So there's a scene in this movie it's like pretty much towards the end.
It's like the last 15 minutes of the movie.
They're in a kitchen, akin to kind of this kitchen sort of, and I'm not going to really describe everything that's going on. But Matthew McConaughey has a literal like fried chicken leg. And he has it down at Johnson level and like is telling her to suck it off, and it is fucked.
Especially because his reactions are very like real and disturbing.
Correct.
Matthew McConaughey has like the capability of being so,
but like
weaselly and slimy.
But like
and
he's
gross
such a
and oily.
nice, lovable guy that like if there's anyone else
But
in this
then
movie,
I
it
can
would be
see him
disturbing.
in a rom-com and believe it. You
like,
know,
if like anyone else played this movie, like if like Steve Buscemi played that character, you would hate this movie so much.
Absolutely, but
like
it's,
the same.
It's the charmingness of.
But like that's such a weird ending, like an ending that I didn't see coming, and I still don't quite understand why they all went after the kid, like the guy at the end. Do you know? Like you've seen, like.
You know, I don't
like,
really. I don't.
Is
think...
it because like Joe had like corrupted the family so much for his actions that they're like, whatever Joe wants is going to get, kind of thing?
I think they realized that it was like better to just
side with Joe, or you're going to get killed.
Exactly.
Well, because then like the girl like announced that she's pregnant because she's had an affair, or not an affair, but she's been sleeping with Joe.
Yeah.
And then I thought she was going to shoot him in the face.
But
it fades to black before you actually see what she does.
Yeah.
Because you put your finger on the trigger, and then it blacks out. I'm like, well, does she? Because, like, killed the guy. The dad got shot in the gut, so who knows how he's going to do it. And then Gina Gershon got just beat up with a bunch of stuff. It was just...
That was brutal. That movie's brutal.
It's a hard movie to watch, and it was the second movie I watched on my new TV, so it was just like big and in my face. I'm like, I am like 60-inch high def. I'm like,
you had 60-inch high def bush on your new TV, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sure your fiance was so thrilled.
Oh, she wasn't there. I don't think she would have liked that movie. Just listen to this, like, what movie were you watching? I'm like, you wouldn't have liked it.
Killer Joe, don't watch it.
Matthew McConaughey plays the best skis ball ever.
Yeah. He was so good in The Wolf of Wall Street.
I
wasn't
loved
he?
him. I loved him in True Detective season 1.
Did not
Oh
see
my
that
god,
show.
True
What movie?
Detective was so good. Season 1, season 2 was horse shit.
I know,
Season
and
3
I didn't finish it.
Don't they have a season 3 too?
I didn't
season
watch
3
it.
is coming out
What
either
was
this year or next year.
Was it season 2 the one that had
It had Taylor Kitsch. It had Rachel McAdams. It had Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, the first few episodes were horrible, so I didn't watch it. But season 1 was
Amazing.
radical. It was
amazing.
so good. And I love Woody Harrelson.
I love Woody Harrelson in it. I love, what's her name, Michelle Moynihan. She played Woody Harrelson's wife. Yeah. And I love Matthew McConaughey as Russ Cole.
That was a great first season of that show. It should have been a one and done.
a good Matthew McConaughey film I just saw. It came out last, I think, was Gold.
Did not see it.
It was really interesting. It almost seemed like a sequel to Sahara a little bit. It's like going after the gold trade in like South America.
Oh my god, the first time I ever saw Sahara was in my Earth Space Science class at Lowell.
Oh gosh.
Memories.
All Alone in the Moonlight.
You did that very well. That was great. That was perfect. I'm not meaning to remark on it. Just
like I didn't say anything else. Like that was perfect. I was like,
yeah. You put the mic in there very nicely.
Very
I just
quietly.
remember the last time we did a Foodies and you were messing with the microphone and you and Blaine were breaking it on the air live, and I was just like, you're wrecking it and I can't stop you. You know, like,
cut. We're going to do this.
we're in a restaurant. It was... There's no turning back now.
You can't reach it physically. You're like, just don't with the... Has there been a movie you saw? Well, we were talking about this, like a movie you saw, like that you would watch, but you just react to it like you can help them. Like, don't just don't.
Yes, like do you guys have any of those movies, like thrillers or otherwise, where you're watching a main character do something and they're going into their doom, or they're doing something and you're just like, no, don't take that next step. Like, okay,
Get Out.
Okay, that's definitely a great example. Another great example I was telling you was Cop Car.
Yeah,
it's a
which I
Kevin
need to check
Bacon
out.
movie.
Cop Car.
Yeah.
Well,
what the? What?
It's a Kevin Bacon movie. Okay.
Baconator.
Yeah. There are two kids, and they are just walking off into the woods. They're like 9 and 11, right? And
This sounds horrible
hold on,
already.
Just listen. They're walking off into the woods because they're like, we're kids. We're just gonna wander, and nobody's gonna stop us, you know. And they wander into the forest, and they stumble upon a cop car. And they're like, oh, look, it's a cop car. And they're jumping on it, and they're thinking it's hilarious. And they're like, wonder if the door's open. Click, the door's open. Oh, shit. So now they're in the cop car. We're driving the cop car. Ha. I wonder if the lights work. The lights work. Ha. The keys are in the ignition. Let's leave with the cop car. So they decide they're going to try to drive this cop car. They take off in it.
Which is a crime.
Yeah. Well, they're 9 and 11, by the way. They don't know.
Juvie.
So Kevin Bacon shows up in the woods looking for his cop car because he's the sheriff of this town, and he has kidnapped somebody who's in the trunk of the cop car.
Oh, so he's a bad guy?
The kids just took
He
off
makes a
with.
good bad guy.
And he's trying to catch the kids who have the cop car, who have the body in the cop car. But wait, there's more, because his gun is loaded in the cop car. And there's some moments with the kids, and it's a no, don't, gonna not wanna.
It's like every scary movie though. You're like, don't go in the house. Just why are you doing this?
Right.
I watch stuff off the beaten path a lot. You know, you have to kind of. I try to get into those bizarre movies.
Like Netflix also allows you that because Netflix has such a back catalog of like you
Random
watch
weird-ass
this.
movies.
You might
Yeah.
also like these weird movies.
I
You're
have seen so many great documentaries on Netflix, like Who Took Johnny. You've got the Barkley Marathon is amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's about this insane 26-mile marathon ran in Tennessee, but it's in this crazy trail that's like up hills, down hills, under stuff. There's crazy markers. The way they tell if you've actually hit all the spots in the trail like you're supposed to is they leave a book, and you have to tear a page out of the book and return it. But like the way the race works is you have to do 5 loops. So you do the 26 miles once, then you do it again.
What?
Then you do it again. It's insane.
Sounds awful.
It's ridiculous.
I wouldn't survive.
In one, how long do you have?
It's a couple days they do it. Yeah.
Okay, well that's
You can rest,
horrific.
but still 26 miles a day. I think I would just be done. For
It
the
might,
next
it
month.
might be less than 26 miles for the lap. It might be like 30 miles total or something. I'm not sure what the
26
distance is.
miles for a lap is like.
It's a long distance, so I feel like maybe it's a 5-mile loop, but they do 5.
It's like a 5K
laps.
That sounds insane.
It is insane, and like people quit, give up midway. There was this one guy they talked about. He was only a quarter mile away from the home base and was roaming for 24 hours and couldn't find his way back.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
That's so sad.
Awful.
So yeah, it's very intense.
Damn Netflix.
I watch. That's documentaries are really my go-to when it's Netflix time to like find some weird stuff.
Did we talk about our 2018 goals in movies on the last episode? I don't remember.
Loosely, because we did the partial episode where it was like me and V did a thing, and then you and me did a little
it was more
kind
like a
of
year
sub
recap
thing.
than like a
It
new
was kind
year.
of a year recap kind of thing. One thing I
Yeah,
would
we
like
kind
for
of talked about what movies we were looking forward to,
right?
And like what we wanted to
I
do.
remember I was listening to it. I'm like,
in the future.
Like we was like, oh, we don't want to see that. I'm like, I want to see that. They talk about, I still want to see that one. It was like all the ones you're like, oh, we don't care about that one. I'm like, those are gonna be so good.
I still want to finish Florence Foster Jenkins sometime.
I want to
We
watch
started
this.
and
I
never
want to.
finished it.
There are so many movies in 2017.
I rented
that
A
I
Ghost
wanna-
Story. I really want to see if that's any good.
I really need to see The Shape of Water. I heard that's
I
amazing.
really need to see that
Guillermo
movie.
del Toro?
I love Guillermo del
I heard it's-
Toro movies.
I hear
and
his people
books.
comparing it like it's like his best film just behind Pan's Labyrinth.
I can't wait.
Wow.
I really want to
Pan's
see
Labyrinth
this
was a hard
movie.
to watch for me. I don't think I was old enough.
That movie
to
was
really
super
get it.
sad. Holy shit. When I was in LA, I went to an exhibit of Guillermo del Toro's curated art pieces and things that he has at the LACMA, and it was so cool. Like all of the interesting old pieces of art and drawings and original Disney pieces that he has, like from Alice in Wonderland and Sleeping Beauty, like all original animations and pictures and crazy Mexican wrestling luchador masks and crazy shit and Frankenstein stuff. I hope that exhibit comes to Chicago so I can
What's
take
his
you guys to
nationality?
see it.
Is he from Mexico? Is he from Spain? Where's he from? I don't know.
To be honest, I can't really think of any movies off the top of my head that I either know are coming out in 2018 or I'm excited for in 2018. I know I'm excited for 2 TV shows, The Handmaid's Tale Season 2 and Westworld Season 2.
Oh, is Westworld Season 2 coming out this year?
Yeah.
We still haven't finished Westworld. We're only on episode 5.
That's such a good show.
We'll catch up.
Yeah.
I know Blaine and I talked about it on...
We have Gotham to get through first, damn it.
Gotham
And
is
Doctor
first
Who.
and foremost in everything because it is... I have to say it right now. Again, this is the perfect show for me.
At least
maybe not for you.
I mean,
but it is the perfect show.
I think
for
it
me.
also suffers from a season that doesn't hold up to the other seasons. I think, or at least a half a season's probably not as good as.
I'm watching season 3 right now, and it's my favorite season so far.
Because I feel there was one season where half the season was kind of a drag, but maybe I just need to rewatch it.
think
it's all a drag, but in the best way.
I just don't think I'll ever find another TV show that I'll be able to binge like I binged Doctor Who. Like when I first started watching it, it was David Tennant. He was in his probably his second season.
His flippy hair phase?
So I had all of Christopher Eccleston to watch, and then the first 2 seasons of David Tennant. And
those are my favorite.
So you came in during Martha?
Mm-hmm.
That's about when I came in too. Interesting.
I think with the shows now, we've already binged a lot of the shows, so there's no new shows you can really binge 4 seasons of anymore without starting a whole new show.
That's why I started watching Gotham.
I think
Because I wasn't ready to watch it. I didn't feel like watching it, but I needed something.
So many shows that are out there are just filler shows.
Well,
so they're not good. They're just shit Netflix shows, Netflix originals,
like sitcoms,
or Hulu originals. This is Us, which all my coworkers at my job.
I heard it's a really
used
good
to
show. I just have no interest to watch it.
I know. I don't really have any interest in those kind of romantic
the soaps.
Yeah.
Well, all of Shonda
dramas.
Rhimes' catalog.
Kind of embarrassed to admit I still watch some of that shit on Thursday nights.
Wait, what do you watch?
Well, my sister and I were really into Grey's Anatomy
Are you watching
in
Scandal?
the late 2000s, and then we
Scandal
started
looks-
watching Scandal.
looks too
and those
over
are the
the
only
top.
2 that I watch. I don't watch any of the other ones because I just don't have the time commitment to get into another Shonda
I used to really
travesty.
like ER.
Well,
I used to love
doesn't
ER.
Netflix have a
ER
Shonda
was
deal
good.
now?
I didn't really watch it too
Nate.
much, but I'm upset. I loved
I have
Grey's
no
Anatomy.
idea who the fuck you guys are
I think-
talking about.
Didn't Netflix
You've never
buy
seen
a
ER?
production deal with Shonda
No,
Rhimes?
not
I have no idea.
Well, yeah, I
I
never
haven't
saw
heard
ER.
anything.
I think
but
they
I
bought
don't
her
know
out of
who
She has her own
Shonda
It has a
company
young
called
George
Shondaland.
Clooney
Yeah, but I
in
think
it.
And Netflix bought or not bought, but partnered with Shondaland. I think she's making stuff for Netflix next
I have
season.
no idea.
Well, because
his
Scandal
name? What
ends
was
this year,
the name
Grey's
of his
Anatomy ends this
character?
year.
Grey's Anatomy's not ending.
Oh, is it just Scandal then?
Scandal's ending.
How do with Murders looks weird? I don't know.
Actually, Scandal and How to
This is
Get Away
gonna
with
drive me
Murder are
crazy
planning to
now.
have a crossover coming up.
How does that? I don't know.
Okay,
Either
so
way.
Apparently, they're
I wanna-
taking place in the same universe.
I want to legit get into some things about 2018 I want to do with the show.
Yeah,
Just
go
a
for it.
couple thoughts. I would love to do a sushi episode, where we all go to sushi together and then do an episode directly following. Also, we just found the dopest Mexican joint in the whole wide world.
Oh yeah, why didn't we have tacos today?
Well, because we were doing the
And
White
we're doing
Russian
the-
thing.
we're
Oh,
doing
yeah,
the
that's
pigs in a
right.
blanket
Tacos and
because-
White Russians do
because
not
of the
mix.
rub.
You
We had
can't combine
plans.
Russian and Mexican food. It
It
doesn't
just
work.
All
doesn't
right. Well, at
work.
some point, we are going to have tacos at this
And
fabulous
Maybe
tequila,
we'll-
restaurant.
tacos and
Is there a
tequila.
good? Is there a good Mexican movie we can watch with tacos?
The Wrestler. You don't want to watch The Wrestler. It's
Nacho
really
Libre.
sad. Nacho Libre. That's actually
No
great.
thanks.
Can we just watch it? What about? Is there a movie that takes? What? I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head now.
Okay, so we found this
Watch
new taco place called,
Thank
what is it, El Guero's?
El Guero's Tacos.
El Guero's. Oh my God, they're the best tacos in this region.
Absolutely.
Which is a cultural
What's the name
wasteland.
of the place?
El Guero's. It's just down the street on like 169th, and they have the best steak tacos. They just put like cilantro and raw onion and lime on it, and you can get it with cheese.
Can I
And
get
they're
without raw
so
onion?
good and fresh and
You
delicious.
don't want to. It's
I'm
so
not.
good.
I'm not an
You
onion
gotta
fan.
have it with the
You
onion.
typically wouldn't be, but the way they make their flavors, trust me. Like
Everything's
this lady,
so fresh there
let me
too,
tell
like
you,
the
the
pico
one
and salsa.
you have to be so confident in your cooking to only put
So
two
little
things
ingredients
on your taco and have it be a home run. They do Taco Tuesday, Taco Thursday, so dollar tacos, right?
Ooh.
And they just package them nicely. They've got this like homemade bean dip. Everything is really like you go in, you feel like your family. She's the lady that runs. It's really like super interactive with you. She remembers me because I've eaten there so much.
And the meat is always really well seasoned. It's so good. Like it's simple, good, authentic Mexican food.
That sounds like it's going to your grandma's house if your grandma was Mexican.
Absolutely, that's that's a very great.
Abuela.
Go to Abuela's.
You should call it Abuela's.
But you know,
Is Abuelo's still around?
Oh, Abuelo's. Yes, it is.
That's just grandpa's.
That place was not good. No, it wasn't.
Don't put
It
a
was not
grandpa's
good
for
at
Mexican
all.
food. It's fine.
But this place that we eat at is awesome too because they have like really delicious
So here in
desserts. It's like
the churros.
Like a block away.
2 minutes away.
Oh, nice.
Like I'm talking, we could in the spring or summer walk there in 5 minutes. Like it would not take.
Can we record
much
it?
of anything.
Can we record there?
We could actually. I've actually
we
thought
should.
about asking her if we could do an episode. They're not typically like crazy busy dine-in, but they get so many carry-out orders every time we call in. She's like, "Thank you. Can you hold, please?" Click, 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 click. I can tell she's putting an order together, and then she's like, comes back for me, and then I hear the phone ring, and then she's like, "Can you hold for a second?" So
I
it's
would
like.
just-
But it's worth it, and it's super cheap and delicious.
I would love to do like a record in a restaurant and then record in a
You'll be
movie
so
theater.
happy,
Would be
Lauren.
fun.
It's
We
so
can find
close
like a
to your
weird
house.
matinee where like we can just like. Can we just give out weird? Like, if we had a good relationship with some like not like AMC, like a random mom and pop movie
Yeah.
theater. But like, hey, can we just?
Is the Crown Point Theater still open?
The Crown Point Theater is actually up for sale.
Okay, so no.
Let's buy it. No.
I know somebody who had considered buying it. I don't know if that's happening or not. But the last time I was at the Crown
What if
Point
Lorraine-
Theater, there was a bat flying overhead,
It
and
was
it
very
scared me. And like they kept the film kept like pausing, and like it was a
I
horrible.
remember the
experience.
last time I went to go see a movie there. It
Fucking
was in
bat
high
flew
school,
away.
and the seats and the floor were it was so sticky. It was disgusting.
Ew. Yeah, I wish that somebody would buy that theater in Crown Point though and fix it up because it's right on the square and it could be a really fun like dinner theater.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like be a live music venue.
If I
That'd
reached
be
out,
cool.
if I reached out to some people, we maybe could do the Lorraine Theater.
That would be kinda
listen.
cool.
It would take us road tripping 2 hours south to my hometown. We would plan to do this sometime in the spring or summer when it's warmer out, obviously. But the thing is, if we're going to record in a movie theater, we have to do it Mystery Science Theater 3000 and do a legitimate riff track.
Oh, that would be fun.
Duh.
Easily.
I don't know. The only question I would not be certain of is if we would have a major control of what movie we were riff tracking, or if it would be what they have playing there at the time. Because it's
Right.
not a typical theater anymore. Now it's like
It
a
doesn't
special
matter. It'll
event.
still be great.
We can movie we hate and it'll just make it funny.
The Lorraine is a theater that was in my hometown.
It's a single screen, right?
For anybody who doesn't know, they have 2 screens
Okay.
because what happened was they ordered a screen replacement for screen 1, and upon arrival it was ripped in half. So they created a screen 2 because they were like, well, there's a money opportunity. We have a smaller screen, whatever. But they used to be the 8th loudest sound system on Earth before like IMAX cinemas and stuff started becoming a thing with like the crazy.
I love how you brag about that.
Well, no, because it was a big.
Small town life.
It was a big deal because you don't know that kind of loudness. Like I can genuinely tell you've never seen a movie with that kind of audio. Like I saw Twister in that theater, and it
I bet that was
fucking
rad.
shook.
I saw the first
the
Harry Potter
whole.
movie there.
Oh my god! Yes, me too. Also,
At
as
Lorraine
well.
in like 2001 or whatever.
Jurassic Park at that place, and like the theater.
It's a
used
neat
to be,
little balcony too.
Yeah, and when Greg Boardman used
That's
to own
cool.
it, they used to do special things. So like the daughter of Tom Hanks in Apollo 13, her grandmother lived across the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they did a special premiere for her when she came home, and they like had humongous like Batman fucking Batlight spotlight type things going all crazy in the town and shit, and had this big procession and whatnot. But then for Twister, they actually went to the junkyard and got a beat up car and like threw it on the ground and smashed its windows out and like had trees through it and shit, and it looked like it was a tornado had dropped a car right there. It was
That's cool.
You know, they don't do shit like that anymore, you know.
Aww.
And it was sad when Greg Boardman sold that theater, because then it just got put in really awful hands, and it has deteriorated over the years, but I digress.
That's too bad.
Be fun.
Yeah. Other goals. What do we have? Other goals? Obviously, we're going to be working with LaFiCon this year, so Foodies will have some part in that. Maybe we can do some treats.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
specials and stuff.
For that.
But we'll probably also be doing like some kind of a live show there from the floor. You know, maybe do a live test.
Foodies never done a live show.
We have never done a live show. It would, it would be interesting for us to do a live show. I think
It also has to be like a Q&A more to make it work.
Not really, because I mean, Journey into Comics typically doesn't need Q&As to make the show.
Unless we do all movie news.
Well, it doesn't have to be news though. Typically, because we could just talk about whatever. I mean, think about what if we did like a special where we showed the disaster artist in the room back to back, and then did a podcast about it.
That'd be kind of cool.
People would show up for that like crazy. It would be
We've
great.
got lots of ideas.
We have ideas. With doing.
Stay tuned.
Brewing.
Broods with dudes. I'm just gonna drop that again. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Foodies with food. Foodies with food.
Foodies with food. What other movies have you guys been watching? Anything in particular?
I saw The Greatest Showman.
Oh, Hugh Jackman's new movie.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
Really weird. I didn't realize it was going to be a musical when I went to go see it.
I knew that was going to be the first thing that came out of his mouth. I didn't realize it was going to be a musical.
Well, I didn't. Like, I should have known, and then when I realized, like, oh, the people who made La La Land made this movie. It's like, so it's one of those
red flag.
It's a lot like a. I mean, it was really good. Like,
it's La La Land doing a fusion dance with The Prestige,
essentially,
with the circus.
But I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. It was. I actually really enjoyed it. Michelle Williams was great in this movie.
I love a good musical. Don't get me wrong.
Repo.
I wasn't going to say Repo, but
I don't know. Hugh Jackman, I think. It's really weird to see that the same guy who does the best Wolverine also is a really fairly talented.
He has a great voice. I love Hugh Jackman. Get over it.
I really like it. I do like them. I don't know. Some people don't like it, but I like movies where it kind of can interject music without it being like a big to do.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's just out of place. Like all of a sudden they're just talking, and then all of a sudden like
they break
now we're
song.
singing. Now the music starts playing under it. I'm like, okay. But I mean, it was a really nice story. I don't know how factual it was. I don't know anything about P.T. Barnum. But
yeah,
I did enjoy. It was very much enjoyable. But it probably has a pretty good rewatchability too.
I'm totally gonna watch it when it goes on Netflix or something.
I'm sure, yeah.
The only thing I've been movie-wise I've been watching lately is Harry Potter ever since the complete collection came out on HBO.
Yeah.
I need to do a rewatch and maybe a reread through Harry Potter.
Got the Blu-rays. They're just,
We tried to get Oliver into it, and he fell asleep and then woke up at like a really scary part and got like horrified.
Oh my god! Yeah.
No, it was like I don't remember what it was. The snake part. Wasn't it?
The basilisk.
Well, something. I don't remember. It was the first movie.
Spider? Was it the spider?
It was
in
the
first
first
You
movie.
should have kept him awake. You stay awake and watch this movie.
But
No.
he's gonna like it because I can.
The snake part in the zoo. That part wasn't scary.
No, he liked that part. It was
Big Snake.
It was at the end.
Of
Maybe
Chamber?
it was when the three-headed dog was there or something.
Three-headed dog's not scary.
No.
I wanted to give him a pet.
He got scared at something and we had to turn, then he fell back asleep. That's what happened. But I'm gonna make him rewatch Harry Potter when he's just a little bit older.
You should.
But maybe it was like 9 or like
he'll love it.
Or like 10. 10 would be great because that's when like it'd be same age as
I'm
the character.
thinking more like 6.
Although
He'll
I'm
be
really
into it
kind of
around
sad
Because that's
that
when we
like,
watched all the movies. We were like the same age as Harry going into those movies.
Although I'm really kind of sad that I've noticed that as I'm getting older and like I'm noticing that like parents don't really have their kids read as much.
Fact.
That bothers me.
Yeah.
That's not going to be me.
Like I grew up like reading Harry Potter. Like I remember waiting on the day that it was released for like the FedEx truck to like get there. Like
I went to
with
those
the
release
book.
parties. Those were fun.
Oh, I never went to those. I always just had them delivered through Amazon, and they would get delivered on the same day.
Like an old Amazon.
Yeah.
There you go. Like I read a lot growing up, but I feel like it is like kids just have the computer.
Loved to read.
They have the computer. They have Netflix. They have their cell phones.
25% of adults read. Like period. Like, read more than like one book a year or something.
Well, my kid doesn't really like to read, and then as funny as it sounds after all the commercials I've heard, I actually did get my kid that ABC mouse thing, and he's able to recognize words, and now he's in preschool and he's starting to appreciate it more, but they just can't sit still long enough to really get into reading yet because he's like 4.
I'm just gonna have them avoid TVs. But like, nope, you're just gonna have a book. Here's a book. You read.
Yeah, I haven't been letting my kid watch that much TV
That's
anymore.
good.
I've been keeping it off during the day.
That's smart, 'cause I think
I
just
just
putting it
remember-
on at night to like relax and cool down.
Growing up, my mom used to always read to me. Like, she always used to read me, like, Charlotte's Web and, like, all these...
The Topsy-Turvy books, did you guys have those? The bug books? They were
Mhm.
topsy-turvy. So, like, you would read one story and, like, at the end, you would flip the book over and there was a completely different story.
Well, that's pretty
No.
cool.
Yeah.
What were those things that we used to have in, like, grade school? Like, those things that were, like, color-coded that you would have to, like, read along to and then take, like, little quizzes at the
Accelerated
end?
reader?
Yes,
Yeah,
accelerated reader.
I remember doing
Yeah.
when I was like in 5th grade, I think I wrote some of those quizzes because I was like helped in the library or something.
God,
Of course you did.
Sorry.
I did too. I was also the secretary. Like, I took the
Library
minutes
helper,
for
yeah.
the student council.
Yeah,
I
it's
was the
fine. School was
secretary.
fun.
Once the secretary,
I
always
remember-
the secretary.
Do
right?
comic books count as reading?
They might have the graphic
Yeah.
novels in the library
Comic
now.
books count.
Okay, because I read a lot of comics, like
Comic
a lot.
books are great for
And-
kids to read.
And one
I
thing
think.
about well, because
I'm not
it's
a
a
kid.
well, especially because like
Wow.
you feel more comics because you can read like a 40-page like graphic novel in like a couple hours instead of like a 300-page book
Oh,
in a
speaking
month.
of which, Nate, did you ever finish reading World War Hulk?
I haven't even started it yet. It's on the. It's there to do.
What was the other one you picked up from me?
The other would be Spider-Man Carnage,
Oh,
which
yeah,
I have the
that's
single
right.
issues of those. We just have to actually read I want to read it as a
The whole book.
conglomerated story.
No, we never did.
Nerd
What did we
alert.
never
We
do?
never rated the Big Lebowski. We never like gave it a score.
Oh shit!
We tangented off and then never and just.
That's I mean I guess that's the great thing about this podcast is we just kind of tangented away.
Right. And I mean, it's really hard to like. It's not like we just saw a new movie, so it's kind of hard to rank a movie that's some people hold as a classic.
Well, just think about like the music and the acting and the art and the direction and the overall cinematography and the story. I give this movie a solid 4.25 pizza slices
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Wait, what movie are we talking
Big
about?
Lebowski. We never
didn't
rated
rate
the
it.
Big Lebowski.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably pretty important to actually rate that movie. So I would say 4.25 pizza slices. They fucked up my pizza, man, but I can't take it back, so I'm just gonna eat this pizza. It's not, they peed on my rug. It really tied the room together.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're
I
on
love
your
how
element,
Walter
Donnie.
got so like protective of Donnie when the parking lot confrontation
No guns were
happened.
fired.
Yeah.
You know, when the nihilists showed up and Donnie
Nothing
had a
to
heart
fear, Donnie,
attack.
they're nihilists.
I just thought it was so funny how like protective he was. It's gonna be okay, Donnie. No, it's gonna be all right. They're cowards.
Oh my gosh.
After like spending the whole movie screaming at him.
Like I think I would give it a like 3.9 pizza slices. It's like it's a good pizza, but like someone in the back took a slice. I got like didn't get the full pizza. I was like, well, it was good, but I wanted a little more.
So what more could you add? If I'm curious, I think that's an interesting question. What would you do to evolve this movie?
I feel like I would have almost rather not had the twist at the end. Like the whole thing, how the guide, like how it was all a setup. How it wasn't who you thought was going to be. Like how the Big Lebowski actually got money from his daughter. That whole, like if that would, I think it was great. Like up until that point, I feel like that I didn't really need the twist, or like I feel like they could have done it a different way. But I love the characterization. I love the cinematography. The music was great. It was like a lot of throwback music, a lot of like relaxed, laid back music, which I think fit the film so much. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to judge a movie. It's very eclectic and special. It's like you can't think I couldn't do it better than them, but I feel like there was still something more that could have been there.
Okay, all right. Who wants to go next on their review of Lebowski?
I'll give it 4.
Okay, sweet. I think we're teetering in the 4 range here, so I think we're setting a pretty good precedent. What are some things that give you the basis for that? Is it the acting, or because I mean, just to talk about it for a second, Jeff Bridges,
He was so good in this movie.
Hills.
I love the
in this
scenes
movie.
where you see just pure glee on his face.
Yes.
Like, he probably had so much fun being
filming the
dude.
scene going
Yeah.
down the stairs when he's doing the dance with his feet. I mean,
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm giving it a 4 because it was confusing at times.
Okay.
Like it could be very technical.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how else to describe it.
This movie gets better the more times you watch it.
Yeah.
Because you pick up
This is
more.
only the second time I've
And
seen it.
because I
Find
feel
it
like
funny.
they gave Steve Buscemi such a weak character. Like his role in Reservoir Dogs was so much better.
Mhm.
I just feel like Steve Buscemi deserved more than
He plays
Donnie.
so many different characters, though. Like, he was perfect for Donnie.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I love Steve Buscemi. Like, he's one of my favorite actors, you know?
He's
And
like
he's
a
so good in
character
Billy
actor.
Madison. That's one of my favorite Steve
I
Buscemi's.
do like it in what's the movie where Adam Sandler got all the money?
Huh?
The movie
oh, that is Reign Over Me.
No, that's not. It's the comedy. The one where he was Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
I like this character in Mr. Deeds.
Oh, I didn't remember that movie.
What?
I'm not talking,
what?
I'm talking about that squirrel.
Is he the one that?
He's the crazy guy who's like has the the shifty eyes, and he's just like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about that squirrel over there. Like, what?
He plays a good crazy person in Big Daddy.
That's good.
He was the homeless guy.
I guess.
I think I'm confusing him with like Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider's also in a lot of
He's in a lot of Adam Sandler movies.
So is-
They both are.
I want to get back real quick to talking about Donnie and the weak characterization with his character, Steve Buscemi. I think this movie really needs Donnie, though, because it kind of encapsulates the dude really being Murphy's Law. Like, the worst things just keep happening, and, like, he can't control it. He thinks he's got a handle on it. Walter kind of takes over and forces his hand, so then, like, you get the death of Donnie, and it's really, like, kind of a sad moment. And
Sobering.
it's sobering, exactly. It's a reality that, like, these are still just fucking people. And then, like, it's a really sincere moment, and you have this beautiful thing, and they're going to memorialize Donnie, and they go to spread the ashes, and they blow right onto the dude's face. And it's like,
In the wind.
That is the movie. Like,
It's absurd.
He's consistently the whole movie pissing into the wind. And it's just hitting him in the face, and he can do nothing but just keep pissing. You know?
I thought that final scene, just kind of speaking of it, I think is
The dude's an island.
that makes the movie. I think that's because there's no. It's just the quiet moment between Walter and the dude where they're just like they just hug it out and just solve the problem. Like it's just like words can express, and that just it's a very powerful scene for there to be no dialogue at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what would V rank the movie?
Oh, I would say I give it 4.5 out of 5 pizza slices. I love this movie. It's a great movie. Quotable.
I like
memorable.
how we all gave Get Out 5 slices, and we gave The Big Lebowski like a scale of like 3.9 to like 4.5.
Yeah, I'd say 4.5.
Get Out's just a great movie, but that's all another.
How about you, Sarah? What do you think? How many pizza slices out of 5 would you give The Big Lebowski?
And why?
Well, this is one of my favorite movies because this movie came out when I was in high school, so I have quite the affinity for it. It doesn't feel throwbacky to me because it just feels like, yeah. So I love this movie. I'll say 4.8, so I don't have to be giving it a 5. But I've watched this movie a lot of times, and you know, my test of time for movies is movies I've watched like so many times and I don't get sick of them, and I don't ever get sick of this movie. It's like still funny to me, and I've literally probably seen it hundreds of times. And I just don't get sick of it. I don't know. The characters are real. They're real. They're out there. I don't know. It's just like it's got that weird kind of I don't know.
Feels like Americana at its best.
It's
Yeah,
surreal.
but kind of like a Twin Peaks kind of thing going
I was
on
just gonna
too.
say it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, that little bit larger than life, but no, that guy's out there. And then the cowboy at the end's like, we're all better off for knowing that the dude is out there somewhere,
There's a little dude
taking
on the
it
way.
easy for everybody. Like, what? then you think you've learned something, but you're not quite sure. Like, this movie's absurd, and I love things that are absurd.
And that's another great analogy for the movie is Sam Elliott talking, and he's like, in the beginning of the movie, and he's
Sam
like,
Elliott is a great narrator choice, by the way. Just his voice.
I have another sarsaparilla.
He's like, I kind of trailed off there. I'm just gonna let the dude take over. Like he just rambled into the point. Like, I love that they actually thought enough into the movie to
I wonder
like.
if they even had him script that. Just talk at the camera
until you feel the necessary switch, and then just say this next thing. Like that's easy narration, you know.
Well, I just like that. What's his name? Sam Elliott? Not Sam Elliott. What's his name?
Who?
The cowboy narrator.
Yeah, that's Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
I always get it mixed up with the guy from like Law and Order.
What?
Like
the guy from Law and Order.
I think it's also like a Sam Elliott or Sam. Oh, Sam Waters.
Sam Watterson.
Yeah,
Mr. McCoy. Mr. McCoy.
I get those two guys mixed up.
District Attorney McCoy.
But yeah, I just that guy's voice
that's great.
does it for me. I love movies that kind of break the fourth wall in a not overly. Well, it is kind of an obvious way.
Someone watched a lot of USA Network.
Yeah.
Entirely too much. I know. I totally vibe you there. I love Law and Order, and SVU is one of my favorites. So
I still love the original Law and Order. I love Jerry Orbach.
Yes.
He
just died last year. Right?
No, he died quite a few years ago.
A couple?
He put Baby in the Corner.
He did put Baby in the Corner.
Who most recently from Law and Order passed? I feel like somebody recently.
Ice-T.
No, he's still alive. What?
I don't know. I thought
it's not Dan Florek.
No, I don't know. We can pass it.
The one guy from Law and Order is on Flash now.
Yeah, very true.
We're still playing a cop.
We've got a cat hunting in the kitchen, so she's very excitable. But before we get out of here, I think we're getting close to wrapping this one. I want to mention that on the Journey into Comics Patreon, that's patreon.com/Journey into Comics. You go there for $3 a month. You're going to get exclusive content. I talk about that exclusive content, but as we have mentioned, it is the road to Infinity War. Mm-hmm. The next time you hear us, we'll be on Patreon. We will be doing an exclusive review of Captain America: The First Avenger. It's one of the two movies we were tasked with doing. At the time of this recording, I believe Thor review just came out today. So be on the lookout for that. Butt Stuff Crew did Thor. Obviously, we're going to review... No, that was Literature.
Oh, Literature did.
All the movies in the MCU, all 18, we're going to be reviewing on the network. You can get all that content there. It's about a half-hour episode, wrapping everything up into a nice little bow, leading into the Infinity War. $1 will get you early access, which is nice, but another $2 will get you all that cool exclusive content that doesn't go away. Obviously, check us out on all the different social medias at Foodies Watching Movies on Instagram and Facebook, or on Twitter at Film Foodies. Get us on JourneyIntoComics.com, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, now on Spotify, which is very important that we are now on Spotify. How awesome.
We're all now Spotify artists.
Awesome.
We are awesome.
Well, that was episode 10.
Yeah, that's pretty much episode 10 of Foodies Watching Movies.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys so much for joining me, as always.
Welcome back, Lauren.
Yeah,
We
welcome
missed
back.
you.
Thank you. It was nice being back.
Thank you to Sarah for coming on Foodies Watching Movies for the first time.
Heyo.
You must come back.
Yes, absolutely. We'd
And
love
bring
to
more
have you back.
cookies.
I mean,
yes.
Well, just come over next time. It'll be great.
It's not like it's in your kitchen or anything.
That was awesome.
Yes, thanks for hosting us and putting up with us, Sarah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. All right, folks. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week of Foodies Watching Movies. As always, this is... Okay, first of all, Season 2, Episode 10. Can't forget that. That's important. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I've been Nate.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Veronica.
Lauren.
Sarah.
And we'll see you guys next time. Be well.